I'm usually
So,
thinking. Doesn't
so
mean it
who's
always
not
happens.
as good as advertised, Jerry Jeudy or Henry Ruggs?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, oh, oh. Okay, now that's a whole nother topic, but I'll dive into that. I like Jeudy, man. And I did not realize he's as fast as he is. Like that long run he had last week.
Sean, did I not tell you that the other day? I was like,
I
I
was
never
like,
realized he's that fast.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
quick.
realize he was that fast. But I mean, hey, I love his route running. I love all that. Now, as far as Henry Ruggs, I love him being in the position he's in for the Raiders because he's the take the top off the defense guy. Now, I'll say this: I think Jerry Jeudy is probably more ready to go in and be the number one guy right now. Even though y'all have my man Cortland Sutton, stud player from state of Texas, so I ride with all those guys. I think Ruggs, because he's a faster player, I think he's going to have to learn to actually increase his usage of all the routes on the route tree. When he does that, he's going to be extremely effective once he does it. Now, we know Jeudy, great routes at University of Alabama and did that for the Denver Broncos. I think that if Cortland Sutton doesn't get hurt and my man Drew Lock doesn't get hurt, I had Drew Lock picked to be actually like an MVP candidate this year because I thought he was going to have Sutton and, everything like that. But I think for for Ruggs, and this is something I had to learn throughout my early years and especially in college, is that whenever you're a faster player, football is not about who's the fastest. Football is about who's the fastest under control. So a guy that runs a 4.2 40, if he's not able to control it, he'll never be as successful as the 4.4 guy who can run it under control. Jerry Jeudy, Odell Beckham, Antonio Brown's only about a high 4.4, but Antonio Brown runs that same 4.4 in his dig, in his comeback, in his skinny post. He runs a 4.4 in his route, where he doesn't have to slow down, stop, gather himself, things like that. So I think for Ruggs, man, I love what he did this year because he brings a different element to the game, and that actually helped out Derek Carr. But I think that once Ruggs learns to actually use the other routes on the route tree to set up the deep ball, much like how Randy Moss used to, I think that once he does that, I think Ruggs is going to really be a top guy in this league because he brings a different dimension to the game.
For the longest time all season, Sean and I, and it started to happen at the end, but Sean and I would be like, I'd ask Sean, I'd be like, why aren't you guys getting Ruggs more involved? And then he'd ask me, why aren't we getting Jeudy more involved? And I'm like, I don't know.
Mystery every week. I'd be like, oh, look, Ruggs saw 3 targets and Jeudy saw 2. Oh, okay. This is great.
And this is where, once you get to the league, this is where things change as a player. Because I'll use myself as an example. And I remember Moss told me this in my rookie year. He said, Ralph, the guys who are going to give you trouble in this league are the big guys who can run. I think Ruggs is like 5'11". I'm assuming 6 foot maybe, something like that. I'm not sure. But if it's a player who's not my height, I was 6'1". If it's a player who's not taller than me, that doesn't really bring much fear into my eyes. It really, really doesn't. Now, the tall guys, the Malcolm Floyd, the Vincent Jackson, the Randy Moss, who was another one?
Calvin Johnson.
Calvin Johnson. Those guys, oh my Lord, you better be ready to play that Sunday. I can tell you that right now. But if it was somebody that wasn't taller than me, I wasn't really worried about them beating me because even if he's a fast guy, because I'm taller, when we're running down the field on this 9 route, if he's 6 foot or 5'11" or 5'10", the quarterback's not going to be able to see him 40 yards down the field. Just like why Richard Sherman is so good or Jalen Ramsey, because they tower over the receiver. But if it's Julio Jones, who's 6'3", or an A.J. Green, who's 6'4", or a Mike Evans, and they see that, okay, my receiver's just as tall as that DB, I'm going to go ahead and put it up there and trust that, you know what, he'll come down with the 50-50 ball. Or like Cortland Sutton, because that brings a different element to the game. So I think for Ruggs, because everybody knows, okay, he's fast, he likes to run deep. DBs know that. I remember back in 2010, we were playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, the year that they lost in the Super Bowl to the Green Bay Packers. I remember Speedy, our D-back coach at the time, he said, guys, 17 is really fast. He said, guys, stay on top of him all day. Give him the hitch, give him the comeback, give him whatever. Stay on top of him. Don't let him get on top of you. So going into that game, I remember I was matched up on Mike Wallace for much of the game, but I never let him get on top of me. Never did. Catch the hitch, catch the comeback, do whatever you want, dog. But you're not getting on top of me because that wasn't part of his game. The hitch, the comeback, the dig, that wasn't part of his game. He likes to take the top off the defense. So for a lot of teams, they know going into this game, we're not giving you the deep ball. We're not giving it to you. You can catch the underneath, you can do whatever, but we're not going to give you the deep ball. So I think that whenever you ask that question, man, why is Ruggs not more involved for that game? They may have been going against a team that simply had the mindset, hey, he's not beating us deep.
They're just not going to let him.
Exactly.